grown man business. Priceless experiences, Napa Valley wine tasting, spoiling my women friends, sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed.
What's up, yo? It's your man Ken Billions on the check-in. Today I'm talking about database mating. Basically how to use analytics to find the right person. We want to copy corporations. The way corporations increase profits, the way they use research to figure out customer patterns, to figure out what's the best product for the season that's coming, right? For Amazon to be able to scale their business and to be able to be $1 trillion company, that means they're using some type of data collecting method that allows them to dominate and basically cause a retail apocalypse. What is it that Amazon does so well to increase their profits? Well, it's analytics. And it's something that we don't use when it comes to mating. We use feelings when it comes to mating. That's a big mistake because 50% of marriages end in divorce. That's not even and we're not even going to include how many people are straight miserable and realize that they made a mistake. They made a mistake 9 times out of 10 because they made it with their feelings. If you're a guy, you made it with a girl and married her, had a child with her because of her looks. So you made it with your eyes and you didn't apply any analytics, any data, any method to figure out whether if this woman is a good person to be with. You didn't vet her. Same with women. A guy makes you laugh. He makes you feel a certain type of way. You never got attention growing up. So this is a guy that gives you attention. And now you thought he was great enough to marry. Then when you guys hit the wall and no more money is coming in, you guys are running into so many problems in terms of finances. You are sad. You don't understand why. How did this happen? Well, it happened because you didn't mate based off analytics. You made it based off feelings. And that's basically most Americans. Everyone mates off the production. We learn how to mate and pick partners from television. Okay? And that's what it is. Sadly, this is what people mate for. That picture right there. That fuzzy feeling that you get in your stomach. You know, those pictures that you can post to Instagram and now everyone gives you the dopamine rush. They're telling you how beautiful you guys look. And that's fine, but that's romance and that's not reality. That is a small portion of the relationship. Throughout the day-to-day, you're going to be dealing with deaths in the family. You're going to be dealing with life insurance, annuities. You're going to be dealing with property, mortgages. You're going to be dealing with salary fluctuations. You're going to be dealing with health issues. So when you're finding a partner, if you're mating based off this right here, you're going to lose. And you're going to be one of those people that's madly in love with someone. And then the next thing you know, you're in divorce court calling them a bastard. You're airing out their dirty laundry. And this used to be a person that you laid in the bed with and you was cuddled up with. How the hell did it go from sugar to shit so fast? And it's because you made it with your emotions. Your emotions are for the environment. Your emotions are for navigational purposes through life. Your emotions do not belong in conversations, and it's not a good tool or vehicle to use to mate with a human being. Okay? No empire can build its civilization with emotions. That's a huge mistake. So we want to copy what makes corporations successful. For them to continue to get our money, for McDonald's to continue to get our money. Hell, I was born in 1983. I was eating Happy Meals in the 80s. How is it that McDonald's is still in business? How do they keep changing their business model? What is it that they're using to stay successful after all these years? There's something that company is doing that we can use to navigate and make great mating decisions. All right. So what is analytics? What is it? Being able to look at past, present, and predict the future of someone. When we're on a date, there is, well, how can I say this? It's not too soon to ask surgical questions. You want to know where someone wants to be in 5 years. You want to know what 10 years ago looked like. You want to be surgical. You want them to talk, because what you're doing is collecting data for a reason. This is a person that wants to date you. This is a person that wants to have a child with you. This is a person that wants to marry you. Don't you think it would be wise of you to vet them? Don't you think it would be smart of you to use the same surgical questioning that a bank is going to do to you if you ask for a loan? They're going to completely get in your business. They want to know you inside and out. What they're doing is they're trying to predict whether you'll be good on the loan, what's your credit score, right? And can they make money off you from the interest? There's nothing wrong with you doing that same thing. There's nothing wrong with you applying analytics to the person that wants to mate with you. That's smart. That's smart. Let's look more into analytics, okay? How can you use this chart right here that you're seeing? If you cut it up, how can you use this and apply it to mating? Because this is what big companies use to scale their business and to get incredible profits. You can do the same thing, okay? And you're not wrong, but you've been taught and trained to mate with emotions. You've been taught, oh, see a person for what they are. No, you want to see a person based off their behavior. This is not personal. This is business. Relationships are business. Marriages are business. I've never seen no one in divorce court divide feelings. They divide love. They divide cars. They divide things and stuff. Okay? So anyone that wants to approach this from a feelings perspective, you're immature as hell. Because you couldn't apply those same feelings to nothing in nature. You will lose. You're the type of person that thinks the alligator should not be biting you. That's not reality. So we want to use the same thing that corporations use to make them successful. How can you use this chart, looking at the past behavior of somebody and trying to predict where they'll be in 20 years in terms of earning, in terms of health? You know, what do they do with a loan? You know, what type of profits, what percentage, have they increased their income by 10, 15, 20% since you met them? Is it possible that they can increase their income by 50, 60%? And what can you use to predict that? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all, right? Then we got to go here. Your hierarchy of needs. The person that wants to be with you, if you run it through the filter of the hierarchy of needs, what does it mean? If you run your relationships or your prospects, who in your circle or who is checking for you that can better this chart for you? Your safety, your belonging, your esteem, right? Your self-actualization, your physiological needs, water, rest, food. Those are human needs, okay? And even in the love department, you have to have somebody that loves you the right way, that loves you in the way that you need to be loved, not how they want to do it, right? A plant needs water. That's the kind of love it needs. Water is its love. You can't pour oil on the plant and expect it to grow. So all this has to be down to a science. All this has to be down to a science, right? Look, apply all these methods right here. Apply all these methods. Now, this is very interesting right here. And this is how we get down to the nitty gritty, right? This is how we get down to the nitty gritty. Because identify goals, values, and priorities. Identify goals, values, and priorities. The thing about it when it comes to goals, values, and priorities, this is something you want to be very, very clear about. It should be hardwired into your nervous system. So when you meet someone, this is non-negotiable. So when you're talking to them, you're running it through your filter of goals, values, and priorities. You need to know what they are for yourself. So when you're listening to someone else, you're very clear about the direction of your life. A lot of times people are dating and they have no goals, values, or priorities. You know, what are goals? What are values? What are priorities? That's an important thing. And we'll get into that, right? So you want to goals, values, priorities, establish urgency. In fact, let's go into it right now. Let's do this. What are goals? What are they? What are goals? Huh? Goals are well-defined plans aimed at achieving a specific result. Goals are roadmaps for achieving what you want to do in life. Goals present a course of action you need to pursue. Goals reflect your values and your priorities. If you're talking to someone and you ask them what their goals are and they're kind of don't know and they don't know what their next season look like and what their next move is, what's going to happen is you're going to eventually give them a goal that they should aspire to, because you're going to date off potential. So you're going to be like, oh, you can do this and you can do that. And that's not what they chose. You chose that for them, and they're going to turn around and resent you. You want to make your goals clear as hell. All right? You want to make your goals clear as hell. Okay? So you say what you're trying to do with your life, not what you're trying to do, what you're focused on. The next 7 years, 10, 15 years. This is where you see yourself. If they don't have no input on that, you got to get to stepping. Period. You got to get to stepping. Goals are important. Right? Look at this chart. If you set your relationships up based off this chart, you're going to win. Because this is what corporations use. All right? Values. What are values? What are values? Values are beliefs and principles about that and things you feel strongly. Beliefs and principles about which you feel very strongly. Our values affect our decision, goals, and behavior. They are standards to guide actions, judgments, and attitudes. They define what is of worth, what is beneficial, and what is harmful. Okay? You have to have values. Because if you don't, you're going to pick the wrong person. And again, on that first date, before you ever pull your panties down or your boxes down, run people through goal, value, and priority systems. Run them through that filter. Run them through that filter. What are they value? What's important to them? What is something that's non-negotiable in their life? If you're a woman and you throw pussy at a man, would he compromise his values? Would he do something that he's totally against for you on the strength of pussy? And would you marry him because of that? Because you used the art of seduction and he went for it. Well, what else would he go for? If you're a dude, what is a woman's values? Will a shiny object have her choose another dude up while y'all trying to build something? What's her values? What's important to her? Does she base her life on social media? What she sees? What this person is doing and that person is doing? Does she watch The View? Does she get anxiety looking at other people's lifestyle? What's valuable to her? What is value? That's an important thing. There's nothing wrong with answering these questions, asking these questions. Nothing at all. Let's go back to the chart. Look at the chart. Establish urgency. That's super important, right? I'm going to get into that. No, let's do it now. Establish our urgency. So when you tell someone what you're focused on doing in your life, you need to establish urgency, a start and finish date. What does a win look like, right? The person that's interested in you needs to know you're serious about your life, or they're going to come into your life and waste your fucking time. You need to establish urgency. You need to be clear, again, about what it is you're trying to do. No, focused on doing. I want to remove that trying word. It's locked in my language, but I want to get rid of that, right? What you're focused on, right? And you have a time frame that you're focused on executing your goals. Letting them know that your life is serious and you're not playing games. You're not playing no games. You're not just dating for nothing. You're not just fucking someone for nothing. You have a sense of urgency, and they need to know it before they even call your phone with that dumb shit. Right? That's super important. You can use this whole chart right here to craft and build your relationships. Okay? Right now, what are your top 4 priorities? If you can grab a pen and a pencil right now, and you can go back and change the list later, but let's just get something down right now. Is it money? Is it housing? Is it school? Is it starting a business? Is it getting your son on the basketball team? What are your 4 priorities right now? I'll give you a second to write it down. At least 1, at least 2. Come on. Do this for yourself. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Now, if you got 4 priorities down, does the person that's interested in you, how do they align with your priorities? Okay? This is surgical vetting right here. What does the data suggest about what they've told you about how they can fit into what's important to you, your priorities? There's nothing wrong with this. So hopefully you wrote down 4. If not, please at least 2. All right? So, about urgency, right? See how all this ties into? This is what businesses use to make billions of dollars. So about urgency and priority. A lot of us stack our plates and we're going nowhere, right? It's a form of procrastination. We're overly busy. But when it comes to urgency, there's 4 ways you set this up. You set them up and you give them a number and a grade, but you set them up in these boxes right here. Important and urgent. That means it's a 911. It's a 911. And then you have important but not urgent. So this is something that you want to do, but you got time, right? So it may be something you want to do in the next 5 years. It's important to you. That could be another language. So you might do it every other Monday. It's important to you, but it's not urgent. All right? Then you have not important but urgent. Right? So let me give an example of not important but urgent because it sounds like an oxymoron. It's not important, but it's urgent. I would guess saying that maybe you are enrolling in school and you actually are early. It's not important, but it's urgent for you to do. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe you guys can tell me what is something that's not important but urgent. I kind of was stuck with that one. All right. Then you got not important and not urgent. I mean, that says enough, right? That says enough. But when it comes to urgency, you want to break your life down in this. Important and urgent, important but not urgent, not important but urgent, not important and not urgent, not urgent. A lot of our goals for real and the things we want to do that's on our plate, if you're like me, you just keep a notebook and keep everything in there. Some of this shit is not important and not urgent. You know? So I have phone calls that are not important and not urgent. It's like, why am I even on the phone with you? Right? All right. So this is a big one right here. This is a big one. And again, this is analytics. Time management. Time management. Okay? If we're going to date and we're going to marry and screw and do all that, what does our time management look like? What are we doing? Is this a conversation that you've had with a partner before? Look at this chart. Is this a conversation that you have had with a mate about time management? Very, very, very important. Very important because a lot of people get together and they don't have any time management. It's just fucking and arguing, right? So when it comes to time management, these are some things that you can apply, that you should apply. I suggest you apply. All right, long-term vision, prioritization. We were just talking about that. Scheduling, delegation, improve concentration, being well organized, avoid procrastination, reduce interruptions, efficient meetings, efficient communication, avoid perfectionism, be assertive. Sorry, that's time management. That's time management. It's how you manage your time right there. This is something that you want to be talking to with your mate, with your partner, because relationships are a business, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not. Okay? So I would like to see some people go about mating in a totally different way. The divorce rate tells me everything that I need to know. The divorce rate tells me every single thing that I need to know. That people are mating just because the government doesn't legislate who you screw. So it's easy to do. There's no checks and balances. You can lay down to screw whoever you want. You can marry whoever you want. But they're ending in ruin. And people are but people aren't maximizing on the relationships, right? They're catching L's and then they're having children. So use analytics, use data collecting to make the best mating decision for you. Be surgical about it, and don't let nobody call you stuck up. Don't allow people to tell you to lower your standards. At the end of the day, this is business, not feelings. Hey, my name is Ken Billions, and if you liked everything that you heard, go ahead. You can tip the kid. You know what I'm saying? Fair exchange ain't no robbery. All right? So, until the next time, I see you guys soon. All right? Peace.